Siemi, beloved family of Israel and all of the nations, we give this day glory and honor to our one and only Tatanzami Mazulu, Kongo, the Almighty Creator, the one who has created the heavens and the earth, the universe, and all things we see and all things we do not see. So may we all again humble ourselves, remain humble, walk in truth, spirit, and be watered by the Most High's truth, and be hit by his hammer of righteousness and fire to remove the evil from our hearts. Hallelujah. Of course, we always want to thank our beloved ancestors of the past, from Adam and Eve to Seth to Enoch to Moses, all the way down to the people here today, like Simon Toko, Simon Kambango, Simon Padi, Kimpavita, Mama Futa, and everyone else that is also still alive, working, because our spirits are eternal and we have to learn how to navigate this world so we can make sure that we are ending up in the righteous path and living in eternal life and salvation through the Congo truth and get the family. All right, so last teaching we were talking about the first 4 days of creation, okay, and how the Most High first had what, guys? A thought in his mind. Everything starts off in your mind and in your heart. Even the Most High himself is like a human being, okay? Though it's impossible for us to truly grasp him and who he truly is, okay? But the Most High is someone that you can never truly know. You cannot truly encompass his wisdom and his perfection, even in a physical form. You have to be in the spirit to even understand the Most High. So a lot of the times when a lot of our ancestors were having dreams and visions or even encounters, they were in spirit, and the Most High also had to remove their fleshly garment. This is also in the book of Moses. They had to remove the fleshly garment from them and put them into the spiritual garments, or else they would not live anymore. They wouldn't even exist. So the only reason why our ancestors can even give these types of revelations is because the Most High was merciful and put people in the spirit and allowed them to be with our ancestors and in the Kenga Palunga, or in heaven, or in the spiritual realm where we're going to reside. Okay, but let's talk about the creation again. So I also want to thank beloved Nabi Mikhael Massa once again for allowing me on his platform, even though me and him have an understanding that this is not his platform, it's that platform the Most High gave him. So we are just mere servants to the Most High, Congo. And may he always get the glory and no one else. He can get the. So we're going to start off in Genesis 1:20 and 23. And Congo said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, in the open firmament of heaven." And Congo created great whales and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Congo saw that it was good. And Congo blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth." And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So this passage is telling us, guys, many things. It's interesting how even science even says that the whales are one of the oldest species on Earth. Okay? And as we can see, he's telling not only the water, but the whales, the flying animals, everything that the Most High has created, he wanted it to multiply. Okay? We go to the Apocalypse of Ezra now. And on the fifth day, thou didst give commandment to the seventh part, where the waters were, that beasts and birds and fish should come forth. And they came into being. And dumb and lifeless waters were, producing that in which there was life, that from these the generations might declare thy wonders. See? Declare the wonders of Congo, okay? And then thou didst reserve two creatures, which thou hast created, and thou didst call the name of the one Behemoth, and the name of the other thou didst call Leviathan, and thou didst separate them, the one from the other, because that most seventh part was unable to contain them. And thou didst give to Behemoth one of the parts which had been dried up on the third day, that he might dwell there, where are the 8,000 mountains. But to Leviathan thou didst give one of the seven parts of the moisture, and thou hast reserved them to be food for whom thou wilt, and when thou wilt. This is probably talking about two spiritual entities. Okay, I really actually don't have too much of a clarity on what exactly is going on here, but may the Most High reveal it to anyone, or even to myself, because we know in part and we prophesy in part. Not everyone has all the answers. Okay, so the thing we also always have to remember, okay, as we go further into this teaching now, it's going to talk more about things that are happening spiritually. So this is why when we read things, we have to have now a spiritual mind and a spiritual understanding instead of just a carnal mind. Okay, carnal people will not be able to see and to understand spiritual things. That their eyes will not even see it, because their eyes not at a higher level of seeing something at a higher level of understanding. Okay, our eyes, there's more than one eye that we also have within our own body. Okay, so we're just not accessing these certain parts of our body yet, and we have to access these different layers of our body. Excuse me. To understand the Most High's creation, but we have to get closer to Him to understand it. Okay, we go down to Jubilees 2:11 and 12. And on the fifth day, He created great sea monsters in the depths of the waters. There were the first thing of flesh that were created by His hands, the fish and everything that moves in the waters, and everything that flies, everything that flies, the birds and all their kind, and the sun rose above them to prosper them, and above everything that was on the earth, everything that shouts out of the earth, and all fruit-bearing trees, and all flesh. These three kinds He created on the fifth day. So what are we reading here, guys, is what? Okay. He made the sea monsters in the depths of the waters, okay? And then He made what? Created His hand. In His own hand, He was creating it, guys, too, okay? Of the flesh that were created by His hands. Okay, the Most High has hands. To create something, you also have to use your hands. Okay, so it was the fish, and then it moves in the waters, and everything that flies, the birds and their kind, and the sun. The sun is very important. Okay, it's a very important part of the circle of life. Okay, the sun prospers not just man, not just the melanated people, but all creation needs the sun and the moon. Okay, so when we read also scriptures, let's try to understand what is being said first, in the middle, and then at the end. Okay, the Most High is showing you that the first thing I did was this, and so on and so forth. Okay, Now we go into the book of Moses, chapter 2. And I, Tatanami, said, let the waters bring forth abundancy, that moving creatures that have life, and fowl which may fly above the earth, in the open firmament of heaven. When they say heavens on earth, that's what it's talking about. We're in heaven, guys. But are you seeing it? Okay? And I, Kongo, created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And I, Tatanami, saw that all things which I had created were good. And I, Tatanami, blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fulfill the waters in the sea, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And that everything and the morning were the fifth day. Okay. So then we go into the second book of Enoch, Secrets of Enoch, chapter 30. And on the lower parts, I placed the sun, the illumination of day, and the moon and the stars for the illumination of night. And I set the sun that it should go according to each of the 12 constellations. Okay, and I appointed the succession of the months and their names and lives, their thundering, and how they mark the hour, and how they should proceed. Then evening came and morning came on the fifth day. So we're supposed to be using the sun and the moon to understand the time, the stars and everything for the seasons, okay? Our calendar and our time, when events happen, when we're supposed to be fasting, when certain feasts are happening, it's all right above us. It tells us everything. Remember, our ancestors knew all this, okay? So let's all stop thinking when one of our teachers, Nabi Mikhael Massa, teaches us about the stars and the sun and what they represent and what they're doing. Stop thinking that we're going down the wrong path. Okay? Just like when Yesai had to teach his disciples, people started walking away because then he would start teaching things that people thought this is nonsense or it's witchcraft and sorcery when it's not. Okay? If you guys read this for yourself, see what the Most High said is good. They did not say in the first day of creation, he made the light and the dark and it was good. Light and dark is still good. Depends on what we use it for. He made the sun and the moon and it was good. Okay, he made the stars, the constellations, and it was good. Okay, so if the Most High created something and said it is good, we can use it. Okay. So then on Thursday, the fifth day, I commanded the sea that it should bring forth fish and feathered birds of many variants, not just one type of bird. Okay, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth, and 4 legs, and soaring in the air, of male and female sex, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. Now, guys, it's not talking about man yet. Mankind is still not created. So that means everything the Most High has talked about so far has a what? Has a soul, it's breathing, and it's spirit of life. And life comes from who? Kongo. So everything the Most High has created has a soul in his life. Even if it's a tree, it's rock, it's water. Okay? Mikhael has told us this in plenty of teachings. Okay? Well, here's your Bible verse proving what Mikhael is saying is true. Everything the Most High has said to create with his voice and said it is good has a soul and has life and is living. Okay? Stop thinking we are the only things that matter in this universe. In reality, we are the only thing that is being a plague to this universe. Okay? Look at man's history. Look at what we do. Okay? Remember, there's not one person on this earth that can go to the Most High and say, my cloth is clean, and my clothes are clean. All right. So, go to Genesis 1:24 to 27. And Tatanami said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures, after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast on the earth, after his kind. And it was so. And Tatanami made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Tatanami saw that it was good. And Tatanami said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Tatanami created man in his own image. In the image of Tatanami created he him, male and female created he them. So the problem with people don't understand about this passage is, guess what? Everything we read about in the last teaching, he's also giving us dominion over. Okay? Not just only the what? The beast of the earth, the cattle, and everything that creepeth upon the earth. And it was good. Okay? Let us make man in our image, our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over all the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. That's it? No. He wants us to have dominion over all his creation. From the beginning of his creation until the end of his creation when he rested, he wants us to have dominion over everything. He wants the Muntu to have dominion over the stars, the planets, the waters, the elements, okay? Nature itself, all the spiritual things, everything that is connected to this world that makes it have a circle of life he wants us to control, but in his way, not in the way that these Kadiapemba are thinking it should be ruling. Okay, now we go the book of Moses, chapter 2. Okay, and I, Kongo, said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. And I, Kongo, made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and cattle after their kind, and every which creeping upon the earth after his kind. And I, Kongo, saw that all these things were good. And I, Kongo, said unto my creatures, which was with me from the beginning. You guys hear that? And I, Kongo, said unto mine creation, which was with me from the beginning. Okay, he's talking to all his creation, okay? Because he has a Tintwadi also with his creation, not just only with man. Man is above what he has created because we're in the image of Kongo, but he still has a relationship with what he created because he is a father figure. He's not just some God to us. He's more than that, okay? He says what? And I, Kongo, said into mine creation, which was with me from the beginning, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And it was so. And I, Kongo, said, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So, and I, Kongo, created man in mine own image, in the image of mine only created I him, male and female created I them. So first he made male, men, and then he made women, okay? That doesn't mean the Most High is a sexist, guys, okay? He loves his women, his daughters of Zion very much, but there's an order to all that the Most High has created. And we Muntu and we men of Congo, we do not put down our women. Okay. Now Congo blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and I replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And I Congo said unto man, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which shall be the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein I grant life, there shall be given every clean herb for meat. And it was so, even as I spake. And I Congo saw everything that I made, and beheld all things which I had made were very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay? The man's made in the sixth day. The apocalypse of Ezra. On the sixth day thou didst command the earth that it should bring forth before the cattle and beasts and creeping things, and over these. However, thou didst appoint Adam as a leader over all the work that thou didst create. Okay? And to put it, a thing of event that existed before or logically precedes another. Okay? Some antecedent, sorry, this is some antecedents to the African novel might exist in Africa oral tradition. There's talking about tradition about in Africa, okay? And from him are we, the people whom thou hast chosen. All this, however, I have spoken before thee, O Tatanzami, my king, because thou hast said that for our sake thou didst create this world. But as for the rest of the people who are descended from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing and has likened them unto spittle. Not my words, so please don't crucify me, people. Okay? The Most High made a particular people. And he knew that the people he created would always do what? Would always worship and obey the Most High. And the rest of the people, sadly, would not. Okay? And we're talking about now the seed of Cain, the seed of Satan. Okay? So the Most High already knew that from the beginning there would be the good branches, and there'll be the bad branches. Okay? For as before the land of the world, listen guys, for as before the land of the world existed, and before the outgoings of the world were standing, and before the weight of the winds blew, and before the voices of the thunders were heard, and before the lightning flashes did shine, and before the land of paradise was founded, and before the beauty of the flowers was seen, and before the power of the commotions was strengthened, and before the numberless armies of angels were gathered, and before the heights of the air was uplifted, and before the measures of the firmament were named, and before the footstool of Zion was strengthened, and before the year that are present were sought out, and before the fowls of present day, sinners were conceived, and before those who have gathered for themselves the treasures of faith were sealed. Then it was, I thought, and all these things came into being by my own hand alone, and not by the hands of another God. By my own hands alone, and not by the hands of another God. For one art thou, and one fashioned are we, the work of thy hands, as thou hast said, and thou dost indeed quicken for us now in the womb of the body, which thou hast fashioned, and composed the members, and thy creatures is kept in fire and water, and nine months thou fashioned, and we are the creatures which thou hast created in it. Okay, so this is Ezra understanding, okay, what? The Most High created all things, knew all things before it even came to be. Okay? This is talking about from the beginning of creation, the Most High already knew all things. Okay? And there was nobody near him, nobody next to him. It was him alone who created all things. Okay? This is the passage right here that tells you. Came into being by my own hands alone, and not by any hands of another God. You guys can go read this, the Apocalypse of Ezra, chapter 53 for yourself. That's what it says. All right. For those who want to doubt. Then we go to the Jubilees 2, 13 and 17. And on the sixth day, he created all the animals of the earth and all cattle and everything that moves on the earth. And after all this, he created man, and a woman created he them, and gave him dominion over all that is upon the earth and in the sea, and over everything that flies, and over beasts, and over cattle, and over everything that moves on the earth, and over the whole earth. And over all this, he gave him dominion. And these four kinds he created on the sixth day. And there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his work on the sixth day. All that is in the heavens and on the earth. Okay. And in the seas, and in the abyss, and in the light, and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Samba, the Shabbat day, that we should work 6 days, but keep Samba on the seventh day for all work. All right. So now we understand even more, guys, right? The Most High is the architecture of all things, okay? Now, I know this is not a picture of the Most High, guys, but, but this is kind of it, Most High is there, and that's how he blew his spirit, his life, his energy, okay? Because even when we read the vision that Isaiah had, right? When he saw the Most High's throne and everything, right? I mean, we'll even, I think, get into this further down, right? But the Most High does have, he does look like something, but it's not something you can look too much on, because it's too much glory. If you cannot hold all the Most High's glory, you will perish, basically. No one can look in the Most High and all his glory without being able to hold it all, but you cannot as a human being, Now we go in the Apocalypse of Ezra. And I said, KONGO, didst not thou speak from the beginning, when I formed the earth, and that thyself alone, and didst come and the dust? And it gave thee Adam, a dead body, and he was the formation of thy hands, and thou didst breathe in him the breath of life, and he was living before thee, and thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand did plant before ever the earth came. Okay? Adam was formed by my own hands. Okay? And I used fire, water, earth, and wind to make him. All right. I laid his body down in Eden for 40 days before I breathed in him breath of life into him. Now, this right here that I just read is what the Most High revealed to me. When I was reading this book, I was actually listening to the audiobook. And then when I went back to try to find exactly this passage, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Most High's like, I'm the one that told you this. So the Most High used the 4 elements. He also laid his body down before he even brought him to life, because he was a dead body. You know, if we remember also how long does a woman need to stay out of the garden? How long does a man have to also? Not mistaken, if that has some premise to it. I'm still trying to get more clarity on this with the 40 days and why he was lying down for 40 days in the garden before he was brought to life. Maybe it was for purification, to purify his body and everything. But only the Most High can reveal this to us. Okay, but Most High is telling us he used his hands and he used the 4 different spiritual elements and put it into our body. Even our brother Massa said that when people truly understand what the human body is, they're going to be kind of shocked about it too. Okay? So, and he said to us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the people, and these shall keep the Samba day, and I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Samba day, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so will I bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their sovereign ruler. Okay? So this passage is telling us he didn't choose the world. He didn't choose everybody in the world. To religious doctrines, he's come for the whole world. But it's not what the Bible says, and it's not what these apocryphas tell us. He chose a particular people. Okay? He put his stamp of approval, his seal on their hands, on their foreheads, that these are my people. And like it said, and the rest of the other nations are like spittle. Okay? Now we go into the book of Moses, chapter 1. And words without number have I created, and I also created them for my own purpose, but only on account of their earth, and the inhabitants thereof give I unto you. For I behold, there are many words that have passed away with the words of my power, and there are many that now stand, and innumerable are they unto man, but all things are numbered unto me, for they are mine, and I know them. So the Most High is saying, every single word that has been spoken from the beginning, from Kongo's mouth till now, till the future, he knows them all, has them all written down. Because he made angels to write everything down, the good and the bad. He created the judgment first, so he can judge those from the beginning until the end to see where people belong. Okay, so that means language, writing, different languages, different styles of communication, Morse code, even when you try to do ciphering for different forms of communication, you know, when you use pictures to symbolize certain, that's all from the Most High. It's all from Kongo, guys. So you got people thinking that some person thought this up and they're so wise, when no, you only get these types of wisdom and knowledge and understanding from the spiritual realm. Okay? And Kongo spoke unto Moses, saying, the heavens, more than one, they are many, and they cannot be numbered unto man, but they are numbered unto me, for they are mine. Okay? So this is also one I kind of say. all you silly people in NASA, you want to leave this Earth. You might want to, I don't know, get down on your knees, pray, ask the Most High if you can even leave. Highly doubt it, but you can't leave and go somewhere and claim it to be yours when you yourself are not the one who created it. And as one earth shall pass away, and the heavens therefore even so shall another come. And there is no end to my works, neither to my words. For behold, this is my work and my glory, to bring to pass the immortality and eternal life of man. All right, that means we can live immortally and eternally, but we have to be obedient to Kongo. Okay, and if you read 38 again, okay, and as one earth shall pass away, it's talking about the civilization that is given dominion over it for a season, for a time. Like Edom is right now fighting to keep its time as a king. But the Most High said, no, your time is up. You now must be cleansed off the earth so another one can come and rule. Okay? And they cannot be numbered unto man, but they are numbered unto me, for they are mine. Everything is the Most High's. Okay? And look at this, 38. And there is no end to my works, neither to my words. That means you Christians, my goodness, stop thinking that the Bible is done and there's no more books. The angels are writing it right now, adding the last books, the true end. Okay? Because once again, if certain prophecies are not fulfilled, does that mean the works are done? Who has to do the works? But the Most High is always speaking. Without the Most High speaking and looking at his creation, we wouldn't exist. Okay? There's a certain passage in the Apocrypha that says that. If the Most High looks away, his creation will not exist. My goodness. Now we go back to the book of Moses, chapter 1, verse 25. For I, the Almighty, have chosen thee, and thou shalt be made stronger than many waters. For they shall obey thy command, as if thou were God. And lo, I am with thee, even unto the end of the days. Thou shalt deliver my people from bondage, even ye solele, my chosen. Wait a minute. Who? Did that say Christians? Did that say Muslims? Wait, does it say the world? No. Ye solele, my chosen. My goodness. People, you gotta stop trying to throw yourself into the book. Do not add or take away, people. So if you're gonna add in Christian, the world, you guys are the adding and taking away people. Okay? And look, he's talking to Moses. Okay? He's telling Moses, okay? You are what? You are God. Moses is a God, guys. Because the Most High was dwelling within him, he became God. Look, stronger than many waters, because Moses was what? He had dominion over the waters. He controlled the water. Okay? That's why you guys should all go to the class of Nabi Mikhael Massa, guys. The School of the Four Elements. You guys want to be a true servant of the Most High, you got to know these things. And you also have to be humble. Okay? I know the class is not meant for everybody. You know, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's not easy for everyone. Okay, but let the Most High lead and guide you guys into what you need to do, because just because you may not know certain things does not mean that you're not important in the kingdom of Congo. Okay, we go to chapter 30, the book of Enoch, the second book. And there came evening, and there came morning of the sixth day, on Friday, the sixth day. I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 constant applications. 1, his flesh from the earth. 2, his blood from the dew. 3, his eyes from the sun. 4, his bones from the stone. Okay, it's interesting, guys, right? Look at this. His eyes from the sun. Nabi Mika Massa even says sometimes some people can't look certain people in the eyes. You know? It's because it's the power of the Most High that's resonating from your eyes. Like whenever the people, whenever our ancestors in the Bible would have visions, they couldn't withstand looking at the Most High because he was shining so much. Okay, so sometimes we shine so much that they can't look at our eyes because it's made from the glory of the Most High. Okay, for his bones from stone. Okay, 5, his intelligence from the swiftness of the angels and cloud. 6, his veins and his hair from the grass of the earth. Okay, 7, his soul from my breath and from the wind. I give him 7 natures. The flesh, hearing, the eye for sight. Okay, to the soul, smell, the veins for touch. Hearing, I'm sorry, people. I give him 7 natures. The flesh, hearing, to the flesh, it's hearing, the eye for the sight, to the soul. Smell, the veins for touch, the blood for taste, the bones for endurance, to the intelligence, enjoyment. Okay, I created a saying, speech from knowing. I created man from spiritual. Oh, no. Let's, everyone strap in, guys. Okay, what does it say? I created man from spiritual and from physical nature. From both came his death and life and appearance. Spiritual, then physical, guys. Those who worship the Most High worship him in spirit and truth. Okay? He knows speech like some created things. He is small in greatness and great in smallness. And I placed him on earth like a second angel to be honored, to be honorable, great, and glorious. He made us like angels. In the book of Enoch, it said, angels shall come down, who are my children, to save the world. His children are like angels. Though we are in human flesh, what do we truly look like in spirit? And I appointed him as a ruler to rule on the earth and to have my wisdom, and there was none like him on earth of all my existing creatures. He's talking about the Muntu, the Benenzambi. He ain't talking about the Christians. He ain't talking about you religious people. He's not talking about the rest of the people. He has a particular people, right? Did it not just say that right here? And lo, I am with thee, even unto the end of thy days, for thou shalt deliver my people from bondage, even ye solely my chosen. Okay, he chose a particular people to be what? Angels. Okay, to be God, to be a minister, to be an ambassador on earth to the world. And I appointed him a name made from the four components, from east, from west, from south, and from north. And I appointed for him 4 special stars, and I called his name Adam. I gave him free will and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness. And I told him, this is good and that is bad, so that I should learn whether he has, wait, people. The Most High is testing us. Like Massa says, the Most High shall test you to see if you truly love him. So the Most High, KONGO himself, taught us what good and bad is. He gave us free will to choose. So anyone here that wants to say that it's not their fault, okay, is a liar. You have the free will to choose to do good, and you have the free will to choose to do bad. Okay, like we read in the book of the Shepherd of Hermas, when me and brother Trey, we did a teaching on it, if I'm not mistaken. If brother Trey was with me that time. But I was talking about how there's 2 angels with you, okay? There's one good angel and one bad angel with you. And then you have the choice to listen to the good or the bad. So my goodness, people, if you do bad, you can't look at the Most High and say it's his fault. You have free will. So it says this is good and that bad, so that I should learn whether he had love towards me, KONGO, or hatred, and so that it would be clear who in his race loves KONGO. My goodness. From the beginning, the Most High is always testing us. Okay? If you love me, what did he say? Keep my commandments. Or feed my sheep. Are we feeding the sheep? Are we feeding not only ourselves, but are we also feeding our people? We are one nation. We go to Genesis 2, 1-8. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. Wait a minute. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. All the hosts. Not just one, guys. All the hosts of them. Not just talking about man, guys, okay? And on the 7th day, Tatazami ended his work, which he made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work, which he had made. Tatazami blessed the 7th day and sanctified, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which Tatazami created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Tatazami made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Tatazami had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground, but there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And Tatazami formed men of the dust of the ground and breathed into him nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Tatazami planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Okay, go to the book of Moses, chapter 3. And I, KONGO, blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it I had rested from all the work which I, Tatanzami, had created and made. And now, behold, I say unto you that these are the generations of the heavens of the earth, when they were created, in the day that I, Tatanzami, made the heaven and the earth. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for I, Tatanzami, created all things, of which I have spoken, spiritually before they were natural, upon the face of the earth, for I, Congo, had not caused it to rain upon the face of the earth. So why is this passage right here spiritual, not in Genesis? Spiritual before they were natural upon the face of the earth. For I, Congo, had not caused it to rain upon the face of the earth. And I, Congo, had created all things. And I, Congo, had created all the children of man, and not yet a man to till the ground. For in the heavens created I them, and there was not yet flesh upon the earth, neither in the waters, neither in the air. But I, Congo, spoke, and there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And I, Congo, formed men from the dust of the ground, and breathed into him, his nostrils, the breath of life. And a man became a living soul, the first flesh upon the earth, the first man also. Nevertheless, all things were before created, but spiritual were they created and made according to my word. Congo's word and no one else's. And I, Congo, planted a garden east in Eden, and there I put the man whom I had formed. And out of the ground made I the Congo to grow every tree naturally, that it pleasing to the sight of a man, and man could behold it, and it became also a living soul. Wait a minute, what does it say, guys? Look at that. My goodness. So, when people want to talk about how men are created and everything, the Most High has told us so many times throughout these different books how he's the one that created Congo, okay? For it was spiritual. Listen, guys, for it was spiritual in the day that I created it. For it remaineth in the sphere in which I, Tatanzami, created it, even all things which I prepared for the use of man. And men saw that it was good for food. And I, Tatanzami, planted the tree of life, also in the midst of the garden, and also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I, Tatanzami, caused a river to go out of Eden to the water of the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. Like we read in Genesis, it's the Gihon, and we know the Gihon's in Congo, okay? But look at this, guys, spiritual. Everything was spiritual first. Every single thing. And then it became into the physical. The second book of Enoch, the Secrets of Enoch, chapter 2. So now, my children, I tell you, do not turn from Congo in the face of that which is empty or prideful, which did not make heaven and earth, for these shall perish along with those who worship them. And may Congo make your hearts confident in the fear, respect, reverence of Congo. Stop believing in Jesus. That's basically what this passage is saying. Throw away your Jesus. Do whatever you can. My goodness. Because Jesus was thrown out of heaven, guys. Come on. On what day was he thrown out, guys? Hallelujah. Chapter 13. Thus he wrote with his finger with a flaming pen on the crown upon my head, the letter by which heaven and earth the seas and the rivers, the mountains and hills, the plants and the constellations, the lightnings, winds, earthquakes and thunders, the snow and hail, the wind of the storm and the tempest were created by KONGO. Chapter 13, and even the angels of fire, the angels of hail, the angels of wind, the angels of lightning, the angels of wrath, the angels of thunder, the angels of the snow, the angels of rain, the angels of the day, the angels of the night, the angels of the sun, the angels of the moon, the angels of the planets, the angels of the constellations, whose hands rule the world. All of them feared and shook and were frightened when they looked at me. This is, when you read this book, the second book, okay, of Enoch, the sixth of Enoch. Enoch had the Most High's presence within him. He looked like the Most High, and he was a representation of the Most High. So every single one of these angels that Enoch is telling us about, okay, that Most High created before man, they're all being afraid of Enoch, okay? Because they understood that this is a son of KONGO and he's representing him, okay? When I see Christians, I do not do any of this, okay? Do you see this, guys? They feared and shook and were frightened when they looked at me. When I look at a Christian, none of this happens to me. I'm not scared. I'm not frightened at all. But when the world looks at a Muntu and a Ben and Zombie and a daughter of Zion, this is what happens to them. This is why they shoot you, black man, in the street. They're not scared of you because you're black. They're scared of your spiritual power, what you're connected to truly. All of you who are truly from the Most High. People start to hate you. They start fearing you. They start threatening you with weapons. Go, it's because of the power that's within me, that KONGO is giving me. So don't lift yourself up, guys. Okay, it's because of KONGO people are scared of us because of what we can do. Okay, these are the names of the rulers of the world. Okay, Gabriel, the angel of fire. Okay, I'm not going to read all these because some of these are also, they're English and it's not proper, but you guys can pause it and read it for yourself. So Enoch also knew the importance of this. This is also why this was written down, guys, because when you understand an angel, right? That, like, look, Gabriel, the angel of fire. So that means if I see fire, guys, I should be able to, to call upon the angel Gabriel and be like, hey, fire, I command you in the name that the Most High has given you, right? My goodness, people, come on. Let's all stop being Christians and let's start being spiritual. Okay? And then if you read a little bit further, look. And they all fell to the ground and bowed when they saw me. And they were not able to look at me because of the majesty, glory of the crown on my head. This is what the Most High is telling us. This is what Mikhael is also saying. Once you get crowned on your head, you have this seal of Tatanzambi. Huh? You have to be sealed. So anyone wondering why is Mikhael saying we have to be sealed? What's the point of the crown? This is the point of the crown right here, guys. The spiritual world will recognize you as a daughter and as a son of KONGO. And they will fear you. The first time I went into the assembly of our beloved Nabi Mikhael Massa, okay? Short story, guys, is I went back to work just during the time of the water gun attack of the world, okay? And when people started going crazy, all right? There was this one goth lady that always came in there. It was always like, man, like what is this? Wearing all black and white hair and black eyeliner, black everything. One day I'm just standing there wondering why people, just asking the Most High, my goodness, these people have faith in their money, not you. I see her coming, this golf lady. She stops and she looks at me, and the Most High puts my attention to her. She couldn't go near me. She had to go all the way around me, a different direction to get behind me. Okay? She was like a witch or something. Because I was awakened. Okay? This is why it's important to attend Nabi Mikhael's Master's assembly. We don't do these assemblies so we can sing Kumbaya and play games. Mikhael Master is preparing people for war. Okay? There's people out there that saw me and they were saying, how can we use this guy? And because of the Most High, he was gracious enough to make sure I was safe. All right? So if you want to think that you're going to Mikhael Master's class, you're not learning nothing, then maybe you're not humble enough. Maybe you're not praying and seeking the Most High's face enough. Because what Mikhael Master teaches works, guys. And it's not Mikhael Master. Just so you guys also know, it's the angel that's inside Massa, and it's the Most High speaking through him. We always give glory to the Tanzambi. Chapter 19. These are the angels who are above, and they measured all life. Sorry, these are the angels who are above, angels, and they measure all life in heaven and on the earth. And the angels who appointed over seasons, years, and the angels who are over rivers, the sea, and who are over the fruits of the earth, and the angels who are over every grass, giving food to every and all living thing. And the angels who write down all, wait a minute, people, and the angels who write down all the souls of men and all their deeds and their, oh, sorry. They shouldn't even be here. And all their lies before the Most High's face. So when Nabi Mikhael Master says to us in the assembly, he's teaching us, okay, this is how you guys know, Nabi Mikhael Master, Nabi Tefas, Nabi Yanatha Chishalambo, Brother Trey, even Apostle Shamil, hello. They don't show you this in a Bible verse, but they tell you the angels write down all our deeds. And here's a Bible verse for you for those who want to say, where is it written? Okay. But look, the angels are over the seas, the grass, everything. Okay. If it rains, it's an angel that's making it rain. Okay. It's not some weather pattern, heat and cold colliding and electricity and yada, yada, yada. My goodness. Chapter 38. The Holy One, blessed be Tatanzambi. He made a tent for all of them, for the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars, and they travel in it at night, from the west to the east. You guys can look this up in science. They tell you the same thing, but I wonder where they got that knowledge from, guys. Under them, in Kokbelia, the prince who is assigned to rule over all the planets. And with him are 365 groups of 10,000 ministering angels, great and revered, ones who move the planets from city to city and from providence to providence. In Rakwi, the heaven of heavens, and ruling over them are 72 princes of nations, kingdoms on high, corresponding to the 72 nations of the world. And all of them are crowned with crowns of royalty and clothed in royal clothes and wrapped in royal robes. Okay, so the other nations are also what, guys? They are royalty. Okay, but the Muntu is a higher royalty. Okay, the Most High is the king. But then if you're just a prince who has more authority, the prince or the king. You know, if you're first in line, you're second in line, and you're third in line, and then you're last in line to be a ruler, who has more authority? Okay. So the other nations, remember, it's even in the book, in the rest of the Bible, right? That he made nations, and the other nations had what, guys? Like it says here, angels over them. And those angels were supposed to teach them their ways. So everyone has their own way of doing things. Okay, so when you see people like the Chinese worshiping the dragon, you can't say that they're evil. Yes, they do evil things, but they were given that angel and to follow its ways. That's what the Chinese are supposed to do. Okay. Chapter 20. And these two men lifted me up from there on to the seventh heaven. And I saw there a very great light and a fiery troops of great archangels, incorporeal forces and dominions, orders and governments, cherubim and seraphim, thrones and many-eyed ones, 9 regiments, the Ionite station of light. And I became afraid and began to tremble with great terror. And these men took me and led me after them and said to me, have courage, Enoch, do not fear, and showed me Kongo from afar, sitting on his very high throne. And his very high throne, guys, was created in the first day, was it not? Like we read. Okay. The Most High created a throne for himself to sit, to be over all his creation. Remember, the Most High's throne is above the earth, and the earth is his footstool. Okay. From afar, sitting on his very high throne. For what is in the 10th heaven, since Kongo dwells there, on the 10th heaven is Kongo. Okay. And on the true Hebrew tongue, Paleo-Hebrew, okay, it's Tatanzambi Yamazulu. Hallelujah. That is who sits on the heavenly throne, looking over all the heavens below him. It's Tatanzambi. Okay. But as you guys can see, right? Look at this. Fiery troops, great archangels. Okay, look, many-eyed ones. He's talking about angels. My goodness. So if you have a vision of an angel with many eyes, stop thinking, oh, demon. Or, oh, I saw a serpent and it was fire all over him. That's not Satan. My goodness. You want to see Satan? Go look up a picture of Jesus. My goodness. And all the heavenly soldiers would come and stand on the 10th step, according to their ranks, and would bow down to Tatanzambi, and would then return to their place in joy and bliss, singing songs in the unlimited light with soft and gentle voices, glorious serving Kongo. Guys, unlimited light. My goodness, Tatanzambi is amazing. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this is something that Siba Malanga, I think, saw. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. All right, but, you know, that's the Most High, guys, kind of, you know. I mean, you know, Enoch could barely even see him. He was on the 7th heaven, looking three heavens above. 10th heaven, he was still having a hard time looking. Most High is so far away, and yet he was, you know, couldn't bear the looking of the Most High. Okay, and you guys see the steps, right? Like it says right here. Okay, there's ranks to the angels. Not all angels have the same level of authority, power. All right. Not everyone is equal. Let's stop with this Christian doctrine nonsense that everyone's equal in the eyes of the Most High. Everyone's equally going to get judged. No one's not going to get judged. That's for sure. But he holds certain people, angels, his children, his servants at a higher level than some people. Like it says in the other book, right? That there's some people in some nations that are just spittle. He doesn't care for them. But there's some he holds at a high esteem. Okay? We go to chapter 21. And the cherubim and the seraphim standing around the throne, and the six-winged and many-eyed one do not depart, standing before Tatanzambi's face, doing his will, and cover his whole throne, singing with gentle voices before Kongo's face. Kongo's face? And people say you can't see God. My goodness. Holy, holy, holy is Tatanzambi, ruler of all the hosts, armies, heavens, earth, and all things he created himself. And his creation is full of your glory. Kongo. Once again, guys, when we read from Genesis, 6 days of creation, okay, you guys see that there's grass. You guys see the different animals. You guys see the different trees, the different rocks. You guys see mountains. You guys see bugs. You guys see humans. That's the Most High's creation. His creation's everywhere. No one can say he did not create. No one can say he does not exist. If you are, you're a fool. And in Psalms, I forget exactly what Psalm, but it says that there shall be people that shall deny the existence of Tatanzambi or of God, and let them be. Let them be. Chapter 22, Kongo. Kongo's stone is very great and not made with hands, and cannot tell the number of those standing around him. My goodness. Okay. There were troops of cherubim and seraphim, and they sang unceasingly. I cannot tell of his unchanging beauty. Who shall tell of the unproximable greatness of his glory? And I fell prone and bowed down to Tatanzambi. And the Lord with his lips said unto me, and Kongo with his lips said unto me, have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise and stand before my face. Unto eternity. Stand before my face eternally. Stand before my eternal face. And the archangel Michael lifted me up and took me to Kongo's face. My goodness, it said face. How many times, people? 3, 4 times it said face? The Most High doesn't have a face? The Most High doesn't... Come on, people. If the Most High wants to show you what he looks like, he will. It will be very impossible for you to come down and explain what he looks like because, like it said here, right? His beauty is always what? I cannot tell of his unchanging beauty. My goodness. Even I can't explain this passage almost. And he was explaining to me all the works of heaven, earth, and sea, and all the elements, their passages and goings, and the sounding of the thunders, and the sun and the moon, the progressions and changes of the stars, the seasons, years, days, hours, as well as the rising of the wind, and the numbers of the angels, and the formation. 246 books of Enoch, of their songs, and all human things, the tongue of every human, song and life, the commandments, instructions, and sweet-voiced singing, and all things that are fitting to learn. So, number one, guys, the commandments. I love when I hear the Jewish people and the Christians. Moses was the lawgiver. So Enoch came before Moses. So maybe someone could explain this to me. And you read in the book of Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, the Most High said, I'm giving you commandments, instructions to teach your children. Okay? I have chosen a royal priesthood among all nations. Moses was just fulfilling his priestly duty. That is it. Adam and Eve were fulfilling their priestly duty. Enoch was fulfilling his priestly duty. Simon Toko was doing his priestly duty. Kimbango was doing his priestly duty. Kimpavita was doing their priestly duty. Nabi Mikhael Massa is doing his priestly duty. Nabi Kephas is doing his priestly duty. Nabi Yanata Shishalombo is doing his priestly duty. My goodness. Stop lifting up Moses, people, for those who are. And stop lifting up this Jesus guy. We know him as Isaiah Congo, but he was just doing his priestly duty. Okay? And he's talking about an angel. So Enoch is talking to an angel, told me, all the things I have told you. We have written, sit and write all souls of mankind. However, many of them are born, and the places prepared for them to eternity. And he said all souls are prepared for eternity before the formation of the world. So it means people who are supposed to go into heaven are already prepared, and those who go into the abyss of darkness are already prepared. So any man that says you cannot know these things, I beg to differ. The book of Enoch says so. And look at this. He wrote 246 books, and yet where are the books, guys? My goodness. And these 246 books, guys, had what? Songs, the different tongues of man, okay? All the commandments, the instructions. I mean, look, the different elements, okay? They had Book of the Thunders, you know, the book. All the different books, guys, were also teaching us what? How to communicate with his creation, how to be one with the Most High, okay? He had to teach us his creation. There was so much said, the Most High knew it has to be written down for the people to learn. Because no man can obtain all this knowledge in his mind. It's too much for this human physical body. Okay? Chapter 24. Enoch, behold, all that you see, all things that are standing finished. I tell you, even before the very beginning, I created all things from non-being. I created the visible, physical things from the invisible, spiritual world. My goodness, how do I forget to underline this? Spiritual world. Hear, Enoch, and take in my words, for I have not told my angels my secrets, and I have not told them their rise, beginnings, nor my endless realm. So once again, not every angel has all the secrets, guys. Okay? For before all things were visible, physical, I alone used to go about in the invisible spiritual things. The Most High is invisible, spiritual. He's spiritual. The Most High is spiritual. like the sun from the east to the west and from the west to the east. But even the sum has peace in itself, while I formed no peace because I was creating all things, and I conceived the thoughts of placing foundations and of creating the visible, physical creation. So first everything was spiritual, and then it became into a visible, physical creation. Okay. The last thing really created, guys, was the physical, visible creation. Chapter 33. And now, Enoch, all that I have told you, all that you have understood, all that you have seen of the heavenly things, all that you have seen on earth, all that I have written in the books. My goodness, not just book, guys, books. By my great wisdom. By whose wisdom, guys? Kongo's wisdom. And all these things I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation. He's talking about the 10th heaven. The Most High was sitting there creating and telling the angels, put this here, put the mountain there, put the animal there, put this whale in the water, put the tree there. My goodness. Okay. So it says what? I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation to the lower and to the end. And there is no counselor, nor inheritor to my creation. I am eternal unto myself, not made with hands and without change. My thoughts is my own counselor, my wisdom and my words. My goodness, guys. Look at this. I am eternal unto myself, not made without hands and without change. My thoughts is my own counselor, my wisdom and my words. Creatures and my eyes observe how all things stand here and tremble with terror. Okay. So, I don't know, guys. When I look at the picture of Jesus, I don't tremble in terror. I just look there going, my goodness. Okay. So if you're really looking at someone who's from the Most High, you should be trembling in terror. Okay. If I turn away my face, then all things will be destroyed. Apply your mind, Enoch, and know who is speaking to you. And take the books. Take heed, all you wicked nations, my goodness. All those who have our hidden books, all those. Give it back to Kongo. Give it back to the chosen people. Isolele. Apply your mind, Enoch, and know who is speaking to you. And take the books there, which you yourself have written. Okay? I give you Samuel and Raguel, who lead you upward with the books and go down to the earth, and to tell your sons all that I have told you, and all that you have seen, from the lower heaven up to the throne, and all the troops. For I created all forces, and there is none that resists me, and none that does not subject himself to me. For all subject themselves to my kingdom and labor for my complete rule. Okay? And then, right here, guys, give them the books of the handwriting, and they will read them and will know that I am Tatanzami, creator of all things, and will understand how there is no other God but me. Kongo is the creator. So all you wicked nations creating your own gods, thinking that they created something. Okay? And let them distribute the books of your handwriting from children to children, generation to generation, nation to nation. And Enoch, I will give you my intercessor and Archangel Michael on account of your handwriting, and for the writings of your father Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared, your father. They will not be destroyed until the final age. I have commanded my angel, Akaroth and Marikoth, whom I have appointed on the earth to guard them and to command all things of time, to preserve the handwritings of your father. So the reason why we're able to still read these books and have these secret writings and everything, guys, is because of Tatanzambi. He has prepared everything. Okay? So you guys have to, and look at this. The writings of Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Methuselah. Hello? Stop thinking, oh, Jesus wrote. Jesus didn't write nothing. My goodness. It's the royal priesthood from the beginning of Adam till the end of now. Like Nabi Mikhael Massa said, he is part of that priesthood. Okay? He's not trying to lift himself up. He's trying to tell you people who you have to follow, because once again, the Most High has chosen someone to be a leader. If you guys don't like the leader, you guys can go complain to Congo. Okay? But like it says, that his people shall try to kill his own. I have sent someone amongst my own people, and they did not receive him. They received him by killing him, by hanging him on a tree, by throwing rocks at him, by burning him, by putting him in a plane and throwing him into the sea. My goodness. And now, my children, with your mind and your hearts, mark well the words of your father, which all have come to you from Congo lips. Take these books of your father's writings and read them, for there are many books, since the beginning of creation, and there will be until the end of the age. With these books from heaven, you will learn all that Congo created, all that he has been from the beginning of creation and will be until the end of time. Now, there's a reason why sometimes you guys have to just listen to Nabi Kephas, Nabi Yanata, and Nabi Mikhael Massa, okay? There are certain things they're going to say, where's it written? Oh, it's written somewhere. But there's some nations that took our books and don't want to give it back to us. So, you know, we have to stop always asking, where is it written down? Maybe you should ask the Most High, is what this teacher that you have sent me, is he correct or is he wrong? Okay. And if you will observe my writings, you will not sin against Congo, because there is no other except Congo in heaven, nor in earth, nor in the very lowest places, nor in the foundation. Congo has placed the foundation in the unknown, and he spread out heaven, both physical and spiritual. He anchored the earth on the water and created countless creatures. Who has counted the waters and the foundations of the of the multiple, changeable, corruptible, or of the dust of the earth, or the sand of the sea, or the drops of the rain, or the morning dew, or the winds blowing, breathing, who have filled the earth and the sea, and the indestructible winter. I, Congo, cut the stars out of fire and decorated heaven and put it in their midst. Okay? I mean, there's not much for me to explain, guys. Just Congo. Congo did it all. Here we go again, guys. If you don't like spiritual, my goodness, this channel is not for you, okay? From this spiritual realm, he made all things that are physical himself, being spiritual. So I teach you, my children, and tell you to distribute the books to your children and to all your generations and among the nations who shall have the sense to fear Congo. Let them receive them, and may they come to love them more than any food of earthly sweets. Okay? My goodness. Okay, my bad. So, we are talking about here. Let them receive them, and may they come to love them more than any food of the earthly sweets, and read them and apply themselves to them. He's talking about the books. He's talking about the Bible. The word Bible means biblioteco, means many books. Okay? We have to stop having a mindset on only reading the 66 books and then that's it. There's more books than we imagine that have the truth of Congo, okay? And those who do not understand Congo, who do not fear Congo, who do not accept but reject, who do not receive the books, a terrible judgment awaits them. You hear that, guys? So those who want to laugh at the Bible, laugh at the Apocryphas, laugh at the teachings that our Nabis and our kings and queens, okay, and daughters of Zion are doing, there will be a judgment awaiting them. You are warned. You are warned. A judgment shall come upon you for those who reject the knowledge of Congo. Okay? The books are more precious than what, guys? Than earthly desires. What this passage is telling you. If you guys don't believe it, why there's some Bibles on the internet worth thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they understand that this book will give you secrets to eternal life. Will get you closer to the truth. You'll become closer in spirit and truth reading these books. Okay? But the best form of it is being on your knees, praying and fasting and seeking the face of Tatanzambi. Okay? Chapter 66 on this book. For the Most High sees all things. For Tatanzambi sees all things when man takes thought in his heart. Okay, once again, guarding the heart. Okay, our hearts are very dangerous, guys. Then he consoles the intellect, and every thought is always before the Most High, who made firm the earth and put all creatures on it. If you look to heaven, the Most High is there. If you take thought of the sea's depth, if you take thought of the depths of the sea and all under the earth, the Most High is there. But that Tanzami created all things. Bow not down to things made by man, leaving the Most High of all creation, because no work can remain hidden before the Most High's face. Walk, my children, in long suffering, in meekness, honesty, in the thoughtfulness, in grief, in faith, and in truth. Walk in rely. No, sorry. Look what it says, guys. Walk in faith and in truth, spirit and in truth. Walk in promise. Okay? Okay? In times of illness, in abyss, in wounds, in temptations, in nakedness, okay, in privateness, loving one another, loving one another, loving one another. Love your Bantu brother, your Muntu brother, and your sister, your daughter of Zion, until you go out from this age of illness, that you become inheritors of endless time. Why is this not in the Bible, guys? We have to have love, Zola, Kintwadi, unity, oneness. My goodness. We all must love one another. Stop looking at people's skin color. Stop saying he's Chinese, he's Japanese, he's German, he's a black German. Why do we have to listen to him? My goodness. Let's all stop being carnal, people. This book tells you that everything was created spiritual first. When Satan fell, he understood, if I get you guys down to this plane of earthly desires, you are finished. You're like putty in Satan's hand. But the moment you become spiritual, you're not in this earthly realm. You're outside of it. Satan cannot leave this earthly realm. So if you are outside the earthly realm, Satan cannot control you. You can control him. Okay? Most High sees everything. He knows everything. Okay? So this is your beloved brother, Alexander Gabriel Arbantu. I'm here to hopefully shed some light on this creation story that Christians think they have a grasp on. And still, we don't have a grasp on it. Even with this reading, we have a better understanding. Okay? But there's more we must learn. Okay? So, may Tatanzambi be with all of you. May Tatanzambi dwell within your heart. May this chapter 66 resonate in your spirit. May the teaching that I've given to you, let it remain in your heart. Let the wickedness of this world be removed and the understanding of this world be removed from you. We understand that the Tanzambi will renew us, okay, in spirit and in truth. So let us all remain there and be humble. Let us glorify Tatanzambi only. We thank Tatanzambi for this day, for the new day he has created for us and everything. Okay? And may Kongo reign forever, guys. And may Zola reign within our hearts. Ingeta family.